Welcome to the AI Debrief from Higher Intelligence. As part of my show, I'd like to come and unpack a technical term that is presented in one of our shows or is dominating the AI community. And today, that conversation, it's AI skills. For the past 2 years, the AI conversation was dominated by models, how big they are, how smarter they are, or how multimodal they are. But this year, we've seen a conversation shift. The AI community is obsessed with skills. Not because models stop improving, but because we realize the models do not create outcomes. And the game of AI is won by outcomes. And we've seen that it is through the lens of skills, AI skills, that intelligence starts becoming work. Now, this shift and this conversation in a way is structured by 3 shifts. This happened faster than we predicted. And together, they fundamentally are changing how we think and build AI. So let's look at these 3 shifts. Number 1, models commoditize faster than expected. When everyone has access to these strong reasoning models, this new version of AI that we've been seeing for the past year, it advances at a faster pace. The differentiator is no longer how smart is the model, but it's actually what can systems reliably and repeatably do. In other words, the capability is not raw intelligence, but we are now looking through a new mode. And that new mode is replicability in action. Number 2, yes, as I mentioned in my prior debrief, agents broke the chatbot frame. Chatbots talk, but agents act. Once an agent enters production, teams quickly realize that prompting is fragile, end-to-end autonomy is risky, and you need a bounded, testable unit of work. This, my friends, is what a skill is. But then number 3, what we realized is that the enterprises at scale needed reliability, not just vibes. So as this need for bounded, testable works of unit enter in production, we needed AI to be audible and replicable and measurable. And you know what? Upgradable. That, again, is a skill that allows agents to act, replicate, measure, and be accountable towards a consistent outcome. Think about skills in agents as APIs were to software back in the past 10 years. So let's put it all together. What are skills, actually? Skills, it's a bounded, reusable capability that an AI agent can invoke to reproduce a specific task under defined constraints. It's not only a prompt. It's not a chatbot conversation. It's an operational capability. It's structured, boundaried, and measurable through an outcome. So let's look at these 5 inputs or requirements for a skill to operate. It's purpose bound. It does one thing, and it does it really well. It's context aware. It knows how to do that thing in the context in which it's presented. It's bounded. It has an input and an output, and is defined and is structured. It can be evaluated. You test it, and you know if it worked well, and you know if it did not. And last but not least, really important, is composable. It can be chained, aggregated, and sequenced against other skills. All right, let's see this in action. Let me give you 4 examples that would probably paint the color of what a skill is. These are not hypothetical. They're actually being built across some of the things that we're doing in Element and through our AI practice. Number 1, meeting transcripts, specifically generating decisions and actions. So yes, you can come and summarize a transcript and generate some type of action items. But in this case, the skill is automatically distills an hour-long recording into structured summaries, knowing the output, the template that we want, and automatically assigns to owners with deadlines. That is a skill. A second skill that we can have is, through the lens of CRM information, is scanning unstructured notes on relationship, on churn and sentiment, and creating escalation triggers across accounts. Number 3, think about generating complaint output emails. What we need to do is have a skill that drafts personalized outreach content that adheres to brand guidelines, some type of regulation requirements, or tone standards. These outputs are always consistent and repeatable. Last example that I can give you is validating an answer against a policy corpus. So as AI generates an answer, you can cross-reference that AI-generated response against an authoritative policy that would actually tell you that this is accuracy against that policy before it delivers. Now, why skills matter more than models? I had mentioned that what we realize in AI is that the outcome, it's how we win in AI. But what we know is that outcomes require execution. And you know what executions are driving on? Skills. Models reason, skill executes, and as I said before, the outcomes require execution. So without skills, what is happening is agents hallucinate. Systems become fragile, trust is eroding, and humans re-enter the loop often. With the construction of skills, and that why everyone is obsessed with the skills, is that now AI becomes an operating labor unit of work. It's reliable. It's a time to value generator and accelerator. And humans shifts from human in the loop to supervision and strategy. And this is why, again, the AI community has moved here. And it is the difference between AI demos and really AI touching on workforces. Now, let's bring this to our sector. How do skills apply to higher education? This is the beautiful thing, my friends. Higher education is actually a perfect skills environment. Because why? Work is repetitive, but contextual. Processes are rule heavy. Data is fragmented across structures, and humans' trust matters deeply. The opportunity isn't to build campus bots. What I'm saying is that the opportunity is to build campus skills that reliably execute the work institutions do thousands of times each semester or term. So, 4 examples of how skills can be seen across campus. Let's look at them through the lens of being boundable, testable, and they will resonate against functional areas in our institutions. Number 1, in admissions and enrollment. A skill could be application completeness checks, evaluation of transcripts against a rubric, yield risk scoring, or perhaps personalized follow-ups as a draft. As we move into the sector of marketing or engagement, a skill could be a campaign audience segmentation, personalization message by student profiles, or perhaps some channel performance summarization. Within the student success domain, of course, a skill could be the creation of a risk detection through data from an LMS or a CRM, case management summarization for advisors, resource recommendation matching, or perhaps an intervention follow-up and tracking. And again, for operations and admin, the opportunity is to look at policy and interpretation, skills against case routing, audit-ready documentation, or data reconciliation. Again, each of these is a skill, not a chatbot conversation. It has an input, a defined output, and a measurable success criteria. So my friends, to summarize, skills are around us. And it's a way to look at AI as being repeatable, replicable, and approximating work. But the work that we see is that it's a journey of individual skills that autonomously are sequential and not optional. In each of these phases, whether it's individual, co-pilot, or sequence composition, it can get us into this idea of supervised intelligence workforce. Yes, how we're thinking about autonomous agents. To summarize, the AI community isn't obsessed with skills by accident. What it has learned the hard way is that intelligence without structure doesn't scale. And autonomy without boundaries does not build trust. And that has been a hard lesson. We need scalability and we need to build trust. Models without skills do not deliver value. But models with skills do deliver value. So skills is how AI is becoming real work. And in higher education, which is repeatable, a process that is rule heavy and deep into human trust, probably one of the best places to apply them. So the question I have for you as I summarize is whether you're adopting AI skills or whether you're leading them and following them. Thanks for joining. We'll see you in the next debrief. Thanks for listening to Higher Intelligence. This show is part of the Enrollify network, home to the largest collection of podcasts in higher education. Enrollify is where higher ed goes to grow. You can find more podcasts, webinars, videos, blogs, and more. Visit Enrollify.org and subscribe to get new content sent directly to your inbox. Enrollify is brought to you by Element 451, the AI agent platform for higher education. Learn more at element451.com.